It is October. We have one TBR jar, but we also have two. I don't like this. And here's the trick. This is so perfect, guys. Okay, let me show you my lineup. And I feel like we have really good picks this month. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is October. When you see this, it will almost be October. I think it'll be September 29th, I believe, or something like that. But I'm gonna pretend like it already is October. So for the month of October, every single video is gonna try to be some sort of fall Halloween themed video. So we're starting off with a bang, picking my August TBR, and I decided to do it a little bit different. So last time I did this, I did a TBR jar, and honestly, I loved it. I loved having the excitement of having a TBR set. I also loved the challenge of seeing if I actually would finish the books, and I think I actually ended up reading all of them, which applause to me. I'm very excited about that. So I want to continue my streak here. I have just been romanticizing my fall TBR, and so I'm so excited to have a set list of books that I get to choose from and read and talk to you guys all about. So with that being said, we are doing a TBR jar, but I had to do some sort of Halloween fall sort of twist. So we have one TBR jar, but we also have two. So what I thought we would do is do a trick or treat TBR jar. So one is the nicer TBR prompts, and these tend to be the ones that you don't necessarily want to pick. So we got our trick and we got our treat, and we're gonna go ahead and pick from each one and curate our TBR. I'm very excited about this. I have a feeling this is gonna just be so fun. This is my bookshelf, and in the mix of all of these, I do have books that I haven't read. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick from this. I don't have a TBR cart as some other people do, as most people do, but I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of choose from the books I haven't read yet and then grab whatever one fits the prompt. So I think that we should start off nice and easy with a treat TBR jar, and hopefully we'll pick something nice and fun. Oh, before we start, I also did want to note that I have talked about my fall TBR often. You're going to hear it in another video pretty soon, but I'm also including those books. I don't necessarily have them on hand, but if it fits a prompt, I'll go ahead and try to buy it or get it from my library or something to also include here. So I do have a lot of physical, but I will also be picking some I just don't have yet because I do want to actually read them in the upcoming months. So I figured it'd be nice to kind of also add in my TBR, if that makes any sense. Let's go ahead and pick our first prompt. One just fell out. Most recently bought. Wait, this is so perfect, guys. I just bought a book, I think 2 days ago, and it is literally on my fall TBR, which means I have to read it, which I was going to anyways, but this is so exciting. Let me grab it real quick. We have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Honestly, this is a great first pick. Definitely such a treat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It started off really great. So let's go ahead and pick our trick. I feel like now I'm already started off on such a high that whatever happens here is gonna be fine. So the trick are like prompts that you necessarily don't want, or like books you've been avoiding on your TBR. Least likely to rate 5 stars. Let me go through some of these books here and see which books I don't really like on my TBR. I ended up finding 2 books I don't know if I would actually rate 5 stars. It's kind of hard because I feel like recently I've been pretty picky. Like every book I've read has been like a 3-star or so. I haven't had that like excitement of reading recently, so everything I was kind of like, I don't even know if I'd rate that 5 stars. Like 5 stars very beloved to me. So I have 2 books here. So the first one is These Violent Delights. You might have seen this. I got this in the local free library and I was really excited about it, but the more I sat with it, like I don't know if I'll necessarily like love the concept of it. I feel like I haven't seen many people talk about this book, so I don't really know much besides just like it's sort of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, gangs in Shanghai. I don't know. I've never read anything like this, so I don't know if I would give it 5 stars. That's like my reasoning behind it, is that I don't necessarily pick up something that I don't even know what kind of genre this would be. Like a romance, action-packed thriller sort of thing. I don't even know. So I don't know like if this is my cup of tea. So I don't necessarily know if I would rate it pretty high. Does that make sense? That's my reasoning. I guess I just don't necessarily pick up this genre, so I don't think I would predict that it'd be a 5-star. That was a lot of explaining just to say I don't know if I'd like it. This is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hopkins, so it's a thriller, and my reasoning behind this is that I don't necessarily rate thrillers pretty high. Like, I don't know why I get very picky about my thrillers. I think it's because a lot of the time the twists and turns don't really get me, and it's just like, that's cool, whatever. I think it's because thrillers, you also don't really get attached to the characters, so it's just kind of like a whatever book sometimes for me. Like, sometimes they're like filler books for me in between like heavier conflict drama involved with the characters book. So I don't tend to rate them pretty high. I do love thrillers, so I have a feeling I won't rate it 5 stars. Like, if anything, like a 4.5, but I'm not sure. So I'm picking between these two, and I do think I'm gonna go with The Girl on the Train. One, because I kind of already have to read it for October anyways, for my October book club, but I also think I would rate this one lower than this one. I just have a feeling. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose The Girl on the Train by Paula Hopkins. I keep saying Hopkins. I'm trying to say Hawkins, but I think I've been saying Hopkins. Paula Hawkins. Now it's time for a fun one. I'm having a great time with this. Can you tell? Okay, let's see what we're getting. Starts with the first letter in your name. I don't even know if I have any books that start with A. Technically, I do have 2. Kind of. Let me explain. So the first one is A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway, and it's like A Farewell to Arms, so that kind of counts. I don't know if I'm like up to read this. And the second one is The Amateur Marriage, so it says like the and then amateur after, so maybe that counts. And then on my fall TBR, I also have The Assassin's Blade, so like assassin, since like the is just an article there. So those are my 3 options. I feel like none of them actually start with like A very well. I don't know why I chose that. I should have looked at my bookshelf before I put it in there. So I think I'm gonna go with The Assassin's Blade, just because it is on my fall TBR, and in my head I was kind of like, well, if anything fits, I want to use it. So I'm gonna do The Assassin's Blade, and maybe we'll start the Throne of Glass series in October. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna put that there, and we'll see if we actually read it, and I will let you guys know, but we're gonna do The Assassin's Blade for that one. That one was a little bit harder, so I hope the trick isn't even harder. Like, that's just gonna be a little sad. The scariest book or thriller? The thriller I have is the one I already picked. So, scariest? So I am gonna choose another one off my fall TBR, just because most of my fall TBR is like thrillers, obviously, or like scary. So I do have a couple options off the top of my head. I have Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in Ninth House. I just read Ninth House last month or so I really want to read the second one like soon, just because it's already fresh in my mind. So that one I feel like would be scary. And then I think another one would be the Riley Sager book, The Only One Left. And then I also have like The Secret History, but I don't necessarily know if that one's actually scary. And then like Phantasma, which also might be like borderline scary, not scary. So I think I'm actually gonna go with The Only One Left, because when I posted that I wanted to read that book, everyone was like, oh, that book is so good, like I didn't expect the ending, like da-da-da-da. Like, I just heard so much around this book that I must read it. So I think we're gonna go with The Only One Left, and we're definitely gonna read that book. I have already been on the hunt for it, so I'm gonna continue being on the hunt for it. If not, I will buy it because I really want to read it. So that's really exciting. Okay, not too bad. That wasn't too bad. Let's go back to treat, and hopefully it's something fun and easy. I think I'm gonna do about 6 books, so we're on book 4, so we have 2 more picks here. Ooh, this is fun. Matches your favorite fall color. Okay, I love green. Green is my favorite color, so I feel like that would constitute it. Either green, or I would say like a light orange yellow. I don't know, I love all the colors. Now that I say I love all of them, but I think it would be like a pastel green, or I think a yellow. So let's see what I have on my bookshelf. Okay, here are my books. So the first one I have here is C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. I got this book a while back, I think almost a year ago at this point. I thrifted it and I've never read it, and I've always wanted to read it, and I like the green, and then the back has orange, and then the side has yellow. So this is the epitome of all of the colors I talked about, so I feel like that's a sign that maybe we should read it. This one I recently also just got. It was more for like the yellow on the back and then on the front, opposite of always. This is a YA romance fiction about this guy falling in love with this girl. She sadly passes away, and he relives the same day over and over trying to save her. So that's also really interesting, which I feel like would be fun in between a lot of more scary books. I don't know if this constitutes, but I do have Done and Dusted, and I've been really wanting to read it, and it does have yellow here, and I've just kind of been putting this book off for a little bit, so I kind of threw it in there to see if it passed. Like, this is just the epitome of what a fall book looks like, so I had to throw it in. I don't think I will be picking this one just because I really do want to read it in November, so I think this is going to be an automatic November read getting into the winter season. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this down, but I just had to show it because it's literally epitome of fall. I also think what's so funny is that the other two books that I physically have for my TBR here is an orange covered book and then a green covered book. Like, this TBR is screaming fall on all the covers, and I love it so much. I think it's no surprise here that I'm gonna go with the first pick and go with Mere Christianity. I feel like it's gonna be short and simple and kind of a break from all of these like crazy worlds and stuff, and just be able to read something a little more out of my box and a little different, and I'm really excited. So yeah, this is the next pick. Okay, this is our last one, which I kind of don't want this to be over. Like, this is so much fun. I just want to keep going. It's gonna be book number 6, and that's a lot to read. So let's see. That was a long one. The book that has been on your TBR the longest. I don't like this. And here's the trick. I have my books. So surprisingly enough, I have almost finished all of the books on my shelf and have almost read all of them. Okay, I just counted, and I have 17 books that I haven't read that are on my shelf. And I feel like that is not that much. Okay, I feel like that is doable. And I've been making a pretty big dent in my physical TBR these past couple months. Especially making these videos has just pushed me to read these, and honestly, it's just so exciting to finally be like, I want to get to that point where I'm like, yeah, I've read every single book on this shelf, and I actually can go and buy and search and thrift for books without feeling, you know, sorry for all the books crying that I haven't picked them up yet on my shelf. So I do have a couple that I just really have been avoiding and not picking up, so this is definitely not fun. Okay. I feel like I show this one every single time. It is Lilac Girls. It's been sitting on my shelf for, I think, closer to 6 months. 11/22/63. I think this is the book that has been sitting on my shelf the longest. Closer to like 2 or 3 years. And I will say, there is like a new hype around this book, so maybe I should give it another shot. I have DNF'd a couple times. Maybe I should just like finally get this off my shelf, and this is like the motivator because I am so amped to read. I just want to get to the rest of my fall books this month, and I fear I won't get to it if I have to read that book. Next is Fixer Up. Kind of the same amount of time, I would say closer to 6 months as the first book, by Lucy Score. It's like a funny, cutesy little romance. It hasn't really caught my eye. And then the last book, I think this book has been sitting on my shelf for about a year now. It is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. And is this the one that they're making to the movie? Or is it Love Hypothesis? Something along those lines. I've never read an Ali Hazelwood book. I tried to read it and I did DNF. So I've kind of been avoiding this one for a bit. But maybe I should try to pick it up. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to go buy the book, it will be 11/22/63. So I guess I have to add it. I think that's a rule of thumb. I did pick a trick. I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of it, but I did want to read this. This is technically on my fall TBR. I'm just trying to tell myself like positive things to make myself really excited about reading this. I think I will have a great time with this, and it is on my fall TBR. So I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna pick this book. I do have 6 books on my fall TBR. but I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose one more. Now this is a maybe, so this is if I get to it, because I'm also gonna try to do audiobooks this month and see how I like it. We're gonna choose one maybe possibility, and also just because I want to pick another one. Let's end on a bang with a treat. You know, I hope this is a really fun one. Ooh, this is so fun. Your birth month color. I threw this one in there. I actually don't know my birth month color, so I'm gonna go ahead and look that up and see what it is. So my birthday is in January, and it says here the primary birth color for January is a deep red. So I'm gonna find covers that have a deep red in it. I feel like it's gonna be a little hard. I feel like I don't have quantity of books that have just fit all of these, and then I'd throw them in and be like, I'm gonna figure it out. It's so unfortunate because like this is a deep red, but I haven't started this series. I just do have this book and I feel like it'd fit perfectly, but I can't pick it. Wait, because this book, that's a deep red, and like that's a deep red. So like, would it be this one? Like, should I pick another one for the longest one on my TBR? Or should I pick another trick? Like, I feel like this is really the only book I have that fits this. Phantasma is on my TBR, so I could also try to see if I can acquire that one. I just don't know if I need to buy 3 books this month, but maybe this is my perfect excuse too. I am just gonna pick Phantasma because that's the only book that also fits. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one. And I think that's the end of it. Okay, let me show you my lineup. And I feel like we have really good picks this month. Let's break down my October TBR. We started off with a bang with The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Definitely getting to it this month. We'll probably read very soon. Then we have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I'm very excited to read this book. Again, I don't think I will rate it 5 stars, but definitely up there. And it is a movie, so I'm excited to kind of have those two to go together and it just be the most perfect time ever. I also picked The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas to possibly start the Throne of Glass series for the first time ever. So stoked about that one. We also have The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which is gonna be like my first ever book by him. Definitely more horror thriller, and I'm very excited. I feel like that is the epitome of what I should be reading in the month of October. Then I have a little switch of pace here. I have C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity, and I'm very excited to read this. I feel like this will be a nice break in between, nice and short, and will just be kind of fun. 11/22/63. I'm excited. I'm just nervous. I've never read a book this big, so I'm excited to get into it and feel very accomplished if I finish it this month. So we got this book, and this will be my first Stephen King book, so also very exciting. A lot of new authors for me this month. And then last but not least, we have Phantasma, which again I'm really excited to read. I feel like it's just so up my alley and I can't wait to dive into it. I hope you enjoyed this video, a little twist on a TBR jar, making it a little Halloween themed. I hope you guys are already having an amazing start to your fall. We're getting ready for October and I just can't wait. So get ready for all of these Halloween October videos. I am so excited and I will see you all in my next video. Hopefully. Okay, I love you. Mwah. Bye.